All right, guys, we got another seller finance today, a subject to in Glendale, Arizona these times. I don't get a lot in Glendale because I focused on the East Valley, which is Tempe, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, but saw this one come across is a rental. It was a for rent by owner that I called and planted a little seed that if they didn't want to rent it out, they could get passive income. They already have equity in a home, but they could turn that into passive income without even landlording. So he contacted me about a week ago. He's been attempting to rent it, but now wants to try to sell so he can get some cash up in front end in pocket and also get monthly income, which is going to be the difference between his mortgage payment and then a buyer taking over his mortgage payment, but also paying him out on a little bit of equity that he's going to leave in the property. So I've been selling most of these off market. They're really easy to sell when you offer terms. And guys, I just want to talk through a couple things while we're going through these, that it's a different mindset when you're doing creative finance. In creative finance, you don't sell or buy for a certain price. I would say selling, you sell because you want a higher price, but you also want to get rid of a lot of selling costs and sell it quicker without doing all the showings. A lot of times you get hard earnest money. You don't have a hard inspection. Obviously don't have to go through appraisal. For somebody who's willing to not get all of their money up front right away, seller financing can be a really good option. And then if you're buying, you don't buy because of price when you're buying subject to, you're buying to build wealth. And you do that by buying an underlying note on a property that works because they work at 3 or 4%, where rental properties and buying and holding doesn't work at 8% or 7.5% while we're out now. So I can go still buy properties that I'm not bleeding every month. I'm just holding them because I know real estate goes up over price. It's been the biggest wealth builder of any asset class, I'd say, for the majority of people. Outside of people inherit wealth or some business owners, people get wealthy that way too. But I would say for the majority of people that get wealthy, they come from nothing. Real estate's the number one thing doing that. So I'm not stopping and buying myself. We're still buying properties. I know that when the market goes up, and I gain $200,000 for every property I own, like I did 3 years ago, I would rather own 40 properties that go up $200,000 than 4, if that makes sense, or 1, or worst case, none, because we know prices are going up and eventually you're going to get locked out. So this is a way to still buy properties. We know when interest rates go down next year, prices are going to spike. So that's the mindset here. Now I'm going to get into the specifics of this property. It's a 2020 build. Pulte build in Glendale, Arizona. What I love about this is it's never been lived in. It's a brand new construction, so your maintenance costs, your operations cost is going to be low from a handful of years, usually 10 years before things start adding up. And we know the property will double in value, most likely in 10 years as well. So at that point, you can typically refinance and pull a little cash out. But I love that area of Glendale. They got the Top Golf, obviously State Farm Stadium across the street is walking from this community. And then the new VAI Resort, or however you say that, right there in Glendale. So great area. I want to talk about the use of this property and the numbers. Let's get into it. The address. Oh, I'm still working on this. I can't say address because YouTube does not like that. But it's a 2022 Pulte build, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. I'm guessing if I could go back, what I would do and didn't have family and was looking for a new primary because I know the power of investing in real estate, I would live in one of those bedrooms and rent out the other 3 and have those roommates pay for my cost of living while I hold that property. It's a great area. I mean, you have events in Glendale pretty much year round in Westgate. And then I mentioned the new VAI Resort. So you got that going on. You got all kinds of stuff in that area going on. The West Side's really growing and expanding, and prices are going up out there as well. Now, I've adjusted this. When I sell these off market, which is very easy to do, I think of the 7 I've been able to sell the last 6 weeks or so, 5 of those are under contract. So I have 2 more that didn't sell off market. So I'm putting those on market, as this one is a listing today. So I can say the address. It's 8846 West Palo Verde Drive in Glendale, Arizona. It's a listing that I'm selling right now, just listed it today, which were 4 days before Thanksgiving. But I typically sell them off market sometimes. And then if that doesn't go, we'll mark it up a little bit, the purchase price and the down payment to adjust, because it's all about the cash in pocket for the seller. So we want to adjust both of those a little up, not so much the price. It doesn't matter as much as the down payment, because, a lot of these sellers want at least 10% down payment. So when you're paying agents on both sides and closing costs and all that stuff, the cost to go associated with MLS is that you mark it up a little bit. Now, the thing that happens once you put it in MLS, everybody's eyes are on the property now. So you typically can find buyers that will meet that higher price and higher down payment. It's really not hard. Everyone that I put in MLS has been really easy to sell. Definitely less going into selling those than your traditional way right now. Conventional are hard to sell. You really have to price them aggressive and market them aggressive and make a lot of calls, do a lot of dials, knock a lot of doors to get those sold these days. But these seller finance ones sell just like that is what I've found. It's all about the terms. We marked it up to adjust for the down payment and purchase price to $645K. The desired down payment is $75K. Now, after paying agents on both sides and closing and stuff, the seller's probably going to end up at what they wanted, which was about $50K in pocket when it's all said and done. Earnest deposit is asking 5%. And of course, when it's on market, you make your offer. You know, this is what the seller's looking for. Typically, if we go off market, the contract's already agreed to. We sign an agreement and say, this is the price and terms, and it's already agreed to. And then a new buyer comes in and buys that agreement, if that makes sense. Whereas on MLS, we're just putting it out there, listing the property. Typically agents or buyers will call me and ask what terms, and we'll discuss that before they make an offer. But when it's listed in MLS, it's up for the buyer to make the offer there. $5K earnest money. The underlying mortgage on this property is $500K that will be taken over subject to. So that is 29 years remaining. Again, it's a 2022 build. They have a 30-year note on it, and we're about 1 year into that. The interest rate's pretty good. It's 4.875%. Not the best I've seen, but you can expect that being about a year old, because interest rates started going up about, early spring to summer last year is when they really started going up. I like this part, principal equity build. So of that payment, the payment's $3,308. Of that, $746 is going straight to savings as equity buildup. We call that. The interest is $2,033. The taxes and insurance on this property is $522, and the all-in payment I mentioned is $3,308. There's no balloon on that, so we can let that ride for the next 30 years. But typically, what people do is refinance or resell them a few years in. But there's no need to do that on this one. The HOA is $80. The purchase money note. So after you take that purchase price of $645 and you take out the down payment, sometimes there's some equity left in there. Sometimes there's not. In this case, there's going to be about $70K left in the deal, and really great terms on that. 30-year amortization. So you spread that $70K over 30 years and 0% interest. So no interest on that. All the payments you're making are going straight to principal. And you could do that for 10 years until the balloon payment is due in 10 years. And then at that time, you got to pay off whatever's remaining. Again, it's principal only being paid down every single month. Then there'll be some balance left. I haven't done the math on it yet, but I'm guessing probably like $60K left on or so 10 years down the road that you'll need to blow out. But again, the idea is hold this property, let it double in value in those 10 years or probably somewhere in that. Then you pull a little bit of money, knock both the mortgage out and that balloon note. So it doesn't always work perfect, but that's how the mindset on buying these creative finance deals. It's not about that price. It's about the underlying mortgage. And if you went and bought the same property right now at today's rates, you're probably paying close to $4,000 a month. Whereas this way, you're paying about $3,500 on both the seller's equity and the mortgage that you're taking over. Hope this was helpful. If you're interested in this property or others like it, I'm seeing so many deals right now with traditional sellers not getting their price. And kind of the market usually slows a little bit at the end of the year. We're getting to Thanksgiving this week, and I would imagine deals are going to keep coming. So we'll keep posting deals like this. But reach out. I'm Andrew. I'm the investor agent here in the East Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. Look forward to connecting with you. If you like this, you can subscribe or reach out to me direct, and all my contact info is in the description below. I'll see you on the next video.